Hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm good, Taylor. How about you?
Man, I'm having a good day. I'm excited. I'm going to be on vacation next week. Going to have
Yeah,
company coming in. It's going to be a fun time. Get together. I hadn't gotten together with people in a couple of years, so looking forward to it.
yeah.
Speaking of looking forward to, I'm looking forward to today's show because we don't talk about these kind of things very often. It was another special request that came in, but I can't tell you who it was because it's about Facebook jail, and I don't want people to know who got in Facebook jail. But we're going to talk about Facebook jail and how to get out of it. But we're going to go over here and introduce the show, give people a little bit more time to get in, and we'll be right back. Oh, Derek Richard is here in the house today.
Hey, Derek.
Yeah, hadn't been here in a while. Well, Derek, where you been? Hopefully, you haven't been in Facebook jail. We are going to talk about how to stay out because once you're in, I'm going to give you a personal experience about a client that got into Facebook jail, and it was not fun getting them out. So, we're going to talk about this for just a minute. So, let's really talk about what Facebook jail is. So, it's really not an actual jail. It's
It's a square on Monopoly, right? On the
yeah,
game Monopoly.
it's something like that. It's kind of pretend jail. It's actually when you get banned or blocked out of your account. You can't access your account. You can't post. And of course, if you can't get to your account, it kind of makes sense that you can't post to your account. So that's an issue right there. So there are things that Facebook really doesn't like and can throw you into jail and ban you and just basically not let you in anymore. Then we're going to talk about how you can accidentally get into jail, which is what a client of ours did by a person leaving the company and they didn't realize that there were some access that that person had that nobody else had, and they tried to get back into the account and it became a mess. So there's a little bit of, it's not really something that you did that got you in jail, but it's almost something that you didn't do that got you in jail because you couldn't get access to it. So we're going to talk about several things. So Facebook jail sometimes can just be a slippery slope to not knowing what to do. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. It's going to be fun. So Carter, we're going to talk about the 7 reasons that you might just end up in Facebook jail.
Before we get into that, I've got a question, and I'm going to learn some things here today. I mean, I know a lot about what we're talking about, but there are some parts of it that I don't know, and I don't know if you know the answer either. Like, is Facebook jail something you can end up in like without a human review at Facebook? Like somebody's like just the algorithm runs and says, "Oh, this person's done something bad," and it automatically kicks them over there. Does their actual human being have to review it and go, "No, this violates our policy. Put this person in jail"?
I would say it's almost all algorithms. There's not enough humans, I don't think, that can put eyes on enough things. So I think most of this is actually built into the algorithms.
I was going to say there's only 4 billion people on Facebook. I mean,
Yeah, that's it.
it shouldn't be that hard.
Well, you wouldn't think. But I mean, it's not just Facebook. Every one of these doggone platforms are algorithmic driven. So that's one of the things you have to realize. They have rules around rules around rules, and if you break any of the rules, again, you can end up not being where you want to be, not being able to do what you want to do. And Derek moved across town. That's why he hasn't been here. So we're glad that you are now across town. And Derek, you said something interesting. Ask Google. Google uses algorithms as well, and you can ask Google all about Facebook jail.
I think, yeah, that's what he meant. Yeah.
Yeah, you can ask them all. He said he's been through 3 months of awfulness.
Well, I can imagine, man. Moving a shop that's Oh,
Can I just tell you that 6 months of renovation is also terrible. I'm trying to get out of that. I'm working toward it. I'm trying. I'm trying. So here we go. Let's talk about these 7 reasons real quick. So the first thing is spamming Facebook. All right. So what is spamming Facebook? A lot of people don't know what this is. It basically is mimicking a bot. So a bot is a robot. It's a digital robot that goes out and tries to game the system, so to speak. So if you are really either dealing with somebody that uses bots or you're doing some things that mimic bots, then that could get you in Facebook jail. So what are some of those things? So posting too quickly. So just one post right after another, just trying to get as many posts done as possible. Sending out friend requests. Believe it or not, if you send out more than like 50 friend requests a day, it can automatically get you in jail. But you just want to be careful how many of those friend requests that you're going to send out. And then also sending out too many group requests. So that's the other thing. So you just want to do things slow. Yeah, I tell people this all the time when it comes to dealing with Google, Facebook, TikTok. It doesn't matter who you're dealing with. You want to do things slowly. You want to act like you're a real human being. And most human beings, don't sit down at their desks and go friend, 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 friend. I just don't do that, but a bot will. So, if you just say today I'm going to friend everybody, you don't want to do that. You want to do it over time. And that's true, Derek. I don't either. I got a few acquaintances that maybe total up to 50, but I think I have 2 friends and one of them's on this with me. So So, here's the other thing: posting inappropriate or explicit content. Now, guys, that ought to just go. That's just common sense. All right. Those are
well,
common things.
but there is that gray area that you don't always know what Facebook is going to deem inappropriate. It always makes me chuckle when somebody says, I got put in Facebook jail, and this is the image that I posted. And it's like, what? Why would that send you to jail? That's ridiculous. That's not even offensive. That's just, so the algorithm's not perfect. And oftentimes things can happen. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, and some of the other things you got to be real careful. Anything that is self harm, hate speech, threats that can be deemed as threats. I mean, I've seen some people that play jokes, and sometimes they get banned because they're playing a joke on somebody, and Facebook actually interprets it as a threat, like a real threat. I mean, we've got a couple of employees that if we put their conversation on Facebook, we would get banned. And it has nothing to do with whether it's good or bad. It's just the way that they banter back and forth. They've known each other for years, and their banter, I mean, you would think that they hated each other. But the fact is, they're great friends, and it's just their, as they say, their love language. Which is just part of it. So you got to kind of be careful with that. Also, be careful about reposting or posting flagged images to your timeline. So if you see something that may be questionable, don't put that on your timeline. Don't do it. Logging into multiple accounts at the same time. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't have, but there are people that do. That you've got your regular account, you got a business account. There are people that may have multiple businesses tied to their page. So if you're logged into all these different places like at the same time, that could be a flag to Facebook. So you gotta be careful about that kind of
So
thing.
Facebook wants to know when accounts are associated with one another, and they have a way for you to be able to switch accounts within Facebook. So if you're logged into your personal account, you want to switch over to a different account that you use for business or something, you can do that within Facebook, and that's not being logged into multiple accounts on the same device at the same time. That's not bot behavior. So just want to be clear there.
Yeah, correct. The other thing is is sometimes if you have any doubt about that, just log into one with a desktop and another with your phone, because and that's fine too. It's just it really is about bot behavior. I mean, you really don't want to do anything that mimics that kind of behavior. Um, so automated software. Oh my gosh, this is especially to like or do comments or posts. This is a big no no where Facebook is concerned. They hate people that hire these bots. They go out and so here's one of the things to think about. So you could go on to Fiverr today and get for I don't know $5, get 1,000 likes on your Facebook page. What you don't know is are they legitimate likes? Well, probably not. They're probably doing it one of two ways. They either have what they call a farm where they have a lot of low income people out there and they give them assignments and they go out and they like a bunch of stuff. That's still a little costly. But these tech guys, they build these little bots that just go out and do it, just boom, 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 and Facebook's really good at catching those. So if you use something like that, that's something that can really get you in Facebook jail here pretty quick. Setting up fake accounts, just don't do it. This is something that I don't think anybody really thought of. So let's talk about this a minute because this is really interesting. So you can go out and you can take a picture of me and a picture of Carter and go out and use software and blend us together. That could be a scary picture for sure. But
I'm totally going to do that now.
yeah, you can blend us together and come up with Taylor Harkins and create an entire fake account using Taylor Harkins and that ugly mug, but come up with whatever and you can put us as I don't know, let's think of something. You can put us as beauty pageant winners, 1948 or whatever it is. You can make up stuff so easy online, it's not even funny. So you got to be careful because you don't want to set up those type of accounts, those fake accounts. Now, why do you not want to do that? Well, Facebook doesn't want those accounts associated with political stuff, with religious stuff, with all those kind of that would be a picture to see, wouldn't it, Mark? I would agree with that. But all those types of things, Facebook's really trying to clean that kind of stuff up. So if you get caught putting up fake accounts, not only can you get that account banned, but they can come back to your original account and say you're not a good player, you're not a good citizen on Facebook, and put you in Facebook jail. So that's a really big thing for them. And the last thing is suspicious payments. So a lot, using fraudulent credit cards, fraudulent payment activity of any kind on Facebook, that can also get you banned real quick. So that's a really big deal. So hopefully that's a good explanation of the 7 reasons that you might end up in Facebook jail. So Carter, I want you to talk a little bit about how to know if you're in Facebook jail.
Yeah, well, Facebook actually does something that Google, I wish they would do. Like Google sometimes doesn't give you any clue at all that something has happened and you've been removed, from a search result or something like that. But Facebook will at least give you the courtesy of letting you know that you've been jailed. So there's going to be limitations on your account. Oftentimes a notice when you log in that says, due to specific activity on this particular post made on this particular day, and they'll explain the reasons and all of that. So it'll be there. But you'll also find out that you don't have the ability to do certain things, like posting, viewing certain people's timelines, or going to specific pages to make posts or groups. So depending on the offense, you're going to be locked out and jailed from specific areas of Facebook. Comments, that a lot of times that's forbidden as well during your jail sentence. Let's see what else. Sometimes, if it's severe enough, they'll just block you from the entire account. they'll let you know we're not letting you in at all. And but we've seen different like scenarios where people are sort of jailed but not completely jailed. Like they can still post and they can still do certain things, but certain things they can't do. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it really is. But they should notify you and let you know that there's a problem. And if you know there's a problem, now sometimes and we're going to talk about this at the end a little bit about if you don't hand off to the right person, you can actually put yourself in Facebook jail, which is a real problem. I'll just tell you, that's almost worse than Facebook putting you in jail. So let's talk about now you're in Facebook jail, but you didn't do anything wrong or you don't think you did anything wrong. So the person that requested us talk about this actually did it on purpose to see what would happen. And they got put in jail. So, if you purposely do it, they're probably going to put you in jail. Just kind of know that. But let's just say you don't purposefully do it. You're in Facebook jail and you're like, but I didn't do anything to get in Facebook jail. Now what happens? Well, whether it's wrong or whether it's right, you're there. And so now you got to kind of wait it out. So eventually, most of the time, they're going to let you out. But how long do you have to wait? Well, you got to look at the notification and you got to see how long they tell you should wait. That's number one. It could be a day or two. They may just say, hey, this is a warning. We're gonna pop you out for a day or two. If it's any longer than a day or two, then you can appeal it. So how do you appeal it? You select, there's a button on there that says this is a mistake. Oh, Facebook, you have made a mistake. So then you got to send in your appeal. So you got to notify, via email. They're going to come with you and you're going to be able to go back and forth. And again, I'm going to tell you about an experience that we've helped a client through. And from this whole experience via email, they're going to take it off Facebook. And so make sure that, they have the email that they're supposed to send it to. That's really important. So that's another thing. Now, there's a nuclear option, and you can just create another account and start over. I mean, that's if you just can't get through this system, you can't figure out what's going on. You can nuke the whole thing and say, forget that account. I'm going to start over. But let me tell you, if you do that, okay, it's going to ban you permanently from the first one. If you had your pixel set up on that, if you've got ads running on that, if you have any of that, you're now blocked from that forever. Okay, so just know that that's a nuclear option. Now, the other thing I'm going to tell you, Facebook is really good about listing their terms and conditions. You need to go in and look at the terms and conditions so that whatever you did that made it happen before, that you don't do it again and make it happen again. All right, because you don't want to keep starting your stuff over, because there's history associated with those accounts. And that history is really good. All right. So that's good stuff to have there. So we've got a couple of additional tips. I'm going to let Carter go over with that. But before I do, Facebook loves the likes and the hearts and all the good little bells and whistles. So if you guys are on here and feel so inclined, we thank you, Derek, for your like. Please like us and love us and let Facebook know that we actually, even though we're talking about their jail sentences, that this is a good topic for people. So Carter, talk a little bit about some additional tips we've got for those accounts.
Yeah, just a couple of them. First one is fill out your profiles. Oftentimes we're in a hurry when we create a new account. So if you can remember way back when you first created your Facebook account, you may not have taken the time to, really fill out your profile and add additional information and things. It's a good idea to put that. The bots typically don't put all that stuff. They just put the minimal that they have to put, and then they go on their way because they're trying to be as anonymous as possible. And it takes time to come up with fake stuff. And so they just don't bother. So it's often a sign if Facebook's on the fence about whether or not your behavior is bot-like, they're going to take a look at your profile, and if your profile isn't really filled out, then that's one more reason that they might consider you to be a bot. So it's a good idea to act like a real human being that has a real past, a real history, and fill out some things there that Facebook can see. The last thing is two-factor authentication, or adding a backup way for Facebook to be able to verify that you are who you say you are. They've got the mobile phone way of doing that. I know it's a pain, but we're seeing it more and more, and I think we're going to continue to see it. I think it's going to become the standard way, at least for a while, until that system is hacked and broken, and then we'll figure out something new. But right now, having two forms of identification, a password when you first log in, and then getting a code sent to your mobile device, and then you enter in that code that proves that you are who you say you are, and you have a device that you've added to your account, you're in possession of that device, this is really you, and then getting in that way. The bots generally don't do that either, and so this is one more human-like activity that helps Facebook understand that you take the security of your account seriously, and that you're on the up and up.
Yes, and I want to thank you, Terry, for the heart, for the love. We really appreciate you're here almost every week, and we enjoy seeing you here. Thanks so much for being here. So let me tell you, this is not Facebook putting you in jail. This is how you put yourself in Facebook jail, and a lot of people don't understand that. If you give your Facebook credentials, your Facebook page, your business page, when you start giving other people access to those things, you got to be really, really careful. If you give somebody the ability to set up your business page, you got to be really, really careful, because not everybody knows how to do this correctly. Client had somebody set up their original page years ago. Did a great job, except they tied it to a personal page. Didn't realize that it needed to be tied to the business page. So the pixel, everything that they'd ever used in the past was all being tied to this original account. Well, that person that had been there a while went on to a different job opportunity, okay? And still on good terms. I mean, nothing was bad. So it wasn't a bad breakup. So they asked us to come in and just kind of help and get everything working and make sure things were working, because they had some ads running they couldn't figure out how to get to and all this stuff. Well, long story short, it took us 6 months working with Facebook, working with the original person that set it up. That was the person that did that was very helpful as much as possible. But I'm just telling you, it was a pain. We have opened up multiple tickets with Facebook, and only yesterday, I couldn't even tell the rest of this story until yesterday, a miracle happened. Tom said it was an early Christmas miracle this year, and we'll take it. He was finally able to get into that account. So he's in there right now trying to get everything straightened up to where we can transfer the pixel, there have been ads running for 6 months for this company. For 6 months. Nobody's been able to turn them off, because once we determined what credit card was with them, they had that credit card tied to so many other things in their business. It would have been a royal pain. So it was only good because the ads were limited so much, and the people in charge were willing to spend that, because they didn't want to. We're in busy season, right? I mean, it's one of those things. If you're in the chimney industry, it's crazy. So my point is, honestly, I don't think we would have been able to do it had we not had a person at Facebook that is our person. We do enough business with them. That's one of the good things about working with agencies, is a lot of times, we have people that if it's an AdWords deal, we can call somebody. If it's Facebook, we have somebody that we can get on the phone, get on email, whatever, and to open up tickets and stuff for us that we can get some help. So that's been really great. But I just want to let you know there's ways that you can trip yourself up and get yourself in Facebook jail where you can't get to an account.
Not because of what you did, but what you didn't do or what you didn't know.
And what you don't know, right? So be very, very aware that if somebody is leaving and they've had access to your Facebook account, before they leave, make sure that you have all the admin accessibility that you need to have on that account. If they have tied that to their personal page, that's a problem, and it needs to be fixed, because it really needs to be to the owner's page or at least tied to the business page. So hopefully that's helped some of you guys think, oh, if I got that situation, I need to make sure if somebody leaves, that they're leaving the right way. So that's the main thing. So just again, this is a great subject. I love talking about stuff like this because it's just things that don't happen to everybody, but when they do, it is a pain.
So Taylor, we're not gonna go over all the words and phrases and things that can get you jailed in Facebook. We're not gonna say the list on this video.
No, I thought about it, but then we'd go into get in jail, and then we wouldn't be able to do the lives, and then how would people know what to do if we can't do the lives? I mean, that's what the whole thing is for.
Yeah. So use Google.
Google. Google is really good. You can Google those things and things will come up. But I think most of us have an imagination that's big enough to know what those things might be. So, I'm hoping. Yeah, it's that. So just to let you guys know, if you're not able to join us live when we do these, we now have a podcast called Spark Live. It can be found in all the following places: Audible, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, really anywhere that you want to get your podcasts. And because next week it is Thanksgiving, what we're going to do, hopefully, and I really mean this, hopefully you will not be here. All right. But we're going to do a rerun just in case you want to tune in and see if we have melded our faces together and come up with a whole new profile called Taylor Harkins. If you're interested in that, we probably do that. It'd be fun. But we are going to run a rerun next week of 4 reasons people stop doing business with your company. Hopefully you are in the company of your family and friends and eating well and watching football and just having a good time, celebrating Thanksgiving next Thursday. But we are going to do that. And the next time that we're here live is going to be on December 2nd. And we're going to talk about why paying attention to your analytics is important. Now, guys, if you are an owner of your company, please, please, please come to this. This is one of my pet peeves. People do not know what's working and what's not. I got lots of stories we're going to talk about during this particular live. And if you think that, you hear yourself in the story, we want to make sure you understand how important it is to pay attention to your analytics. So with that, Carter, you got anything else?
Just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and look forward to eating lots of turkey and stuffing and pie and I don't know, stuff. So we'll see you guys back on December 2nd.
Thanks, guys. We wish you well. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.